Sorry, I have a cough. All right, welcome to the new stream. So I had a document um that had a lot of cool ideas in it. And I'm instead gonna just rewrite the multiplayer section because that's what I wanted to talk about today. Um, so yeah, give me a quick sec to adjust stream settings. I am dumb. Why did I go to my channel? So yeah, and then we'll get started here in a quick sec. If this thing will load. My mouse is so jittery right now. I think it's because I have two GPUs in this computer, but the second one isn't being used right now. So, I don't know. I cannot wait to upgrade my GPU, man. Hello? God. I'm tired. I don't want to be up right now, but I kind of am. So, instead of putting a game name to this, like putting Imaginary, that's going to be kind of dumb. We're just going to do this. Tweet out the stream. And there we go. PSVR 2 is trending? Ooh. Anyways, I need my chat. Go. So, the original document is in like another stream where I built the thing. Or heck, my last stream that's like 27 minutes long. You can find it there because I nuked the entire thing and I can't get it back. So we're gonna make a Word document and I'm not gonna like retype everything. We're just gonna focus on multiplayer. I'll retype the story and other information from that and like convert it. But yeah. Sorry for the really bad cough. I'm not gonna mute it out. Sorry for any drop frames and stuff. This dual GPU setup is killing my computer, I feel like. Or I don't know what is, to be honest. Um, so multiplayer. Um, First thing to note in the multiplayer is this is a Skylanders cross Splatoon thing. Because in this game, one of our guest stars is Inkling, and I really wanna go into the Splatoon aspect with the multiplayer. Um, I had an idea originally in the other ideas section of a Splatoon-like thing with Skylanders, and I'm like, hey, let's just do it now. Because I feel like when you think of Splatoon, the multiplayer is like what people think of. Yeah, the single player is pretty important, but I wouldn't say it's like a very narrative-driven thing. I mean, when you get the DLCs, they are. They're pretty cool. But yeah, I think um, I don't know. I just have ideas for the multiplayer of Splatoon, and it just kind of like, hey, we want to show off our guest stars, and multiplayer is a good way to do it. That's what Splatoon is known for. Ideally, would this happen? No, but I think taking ideas of this into a Skylanders format would be pretty cool. At least I like the realistically, we're definitely dreaming here. But yeah, I think realistically taking out the Splatoon would be nice. So, in terms of location, um, I want to kind of set things in a similar area to Splatsville, or really, I had the idea before Splatsville, but it's probably not going to be as good. I gave a name, Battleopolis, and I don't really know like how good that's gonna be. But like this is Skylanders, does it matter? I don't think it does. And I'm also bad at spelling that, so not gonna be great. Um, it's like Megaopolis. Let's see here, but instead of mega, it's battle. There we go. That's probably a better, yeah, better better name to do it. So this is a large city. Um, Yeah, that's really what I want this thing to be. A large city where all Skylanders come to battle. I think one of the things about Splatsville, though, is that people, or Inklings, Octolings, whatever, live there, whereas here it's like more of a gathering spot, you know? So maybe a city isn't the best place. I don't know, but um, yeah, I just want a place where Skylanders and other people come to battle. I think one of the big questions with development right now, or just questions of this thing, I guess I'll have like a dedicated question section for multiplayer. Is is this gonna be exclusive to the Switch? If not, how does it work on other platforms? Because I feel like without the Splatoon aspect of this thing, this is gonna be very bare bones and very like plain. Um, and then it's also like matchmaking, etc. That's gonna be a big factor. You're putting a big divide on this, and I don't know if that's a good idea. Literally, this alone is making the entire game uh is making me think like should the entire game be only on Switch? I don't want to do that, but like maybe the multiplayer would be a bit different. I don't know. I think the best course of action to this question would be to launch the game on all like not realistically, but in my head, launch the game on all platforms. Have the Switch be its own multiplayer experiences. If you play with other people on not Switch, you play their version of the multiplayer without the Splatoon stuff, and you're locked. You can't play Splatoon characters, can't play Splatoon maps, can't play with Splatoon stuff. Um, and that's kind of how it goes. But if you're on the Switch, you'll get to play all of the Splatoon goodies, and it's kind of a significant amount though, where it has me concerned. So yeah, our host is gonna be Pandergast, the Magnificent. Oops. Well, I tried to spell it. That was spelled right originally. And they're kind of your news hosts. News host. When you start the game, I really like I feel like with Splatoon, the news is great. Especially now it's skippable. They put personality in it, but having something be in English that you can actually understand, I think would be pretty cool. It reminds me, um, like Superchargers Racing almost. Seeing that, but in a more of a newsy style, would be pretty cool. So yeah. Um. I guess we can then move on to modes, or do we? Let's get into the. Well, here I'm gonna break up multiplayer in a couple of key sections. I guess we got matchmaking slash format of like how things roll. Yeah, that is not a good. I don't like just doing things in bold. I'm gonna underline this stuff so it's noticeable. We also have Splatoon stuff. What's gonna be carried over from Splatoon? Um, Modes. That's another thing as well to discuss. And yeah, so that's kind of like I guess a very rough idea, and I guess some other ideas here as well that will be discussed. That's on here. Um, so here's some like other stuff that I'm just gonna throw out of the way right now. Um, so we're gonna break this up into launch and post-launch stuff. This might be under like Splatoon stuff a bit, um, but at launch, we do want to add some. I do want to add some mechanics to things that aren't really seen in Splatoon and stuff. To kind of level level the playing field out here between the two, or make things more viable, like competitively and stuff. Specifically with Splatoon content. Um, One of the big goals here that I wanna that's a big goal here for this thing. I need to put this pretty soon. Because Skylanders and Inklings and Octolings all will function a bit differently, but one of the big goals here is to, how do I say this? Narrow the gap between Inklings, Octolings, and Skylanders. Because one of the big things that they can do, as an example, is swimming or swim form. That's a huge perk of Inklings and Octolings right there. That as a Skylander, you kind of should have access to kind of compete with them. That also applies to like, I mean, I could say squid rolling, but we kind of put a parry in the game to kind of work like that. So I think that's pretty on par. But swim form is the big thing I'm looking at mainly, and being like, hey, we need to like do something here. Maybe it's having a stealth mode for every character. Maybe we make it character specific because some characters are ninjas like Stealth Elf, Trap Shadow, etc., who will have a stealth mode. But I feel like losing out on that's kind of a big deal. That stealth mechanic of every Inkling and Octoling kind of makes them a bit overpowered when you have Skylanders that can't do that. So it's really just taking that mechanic and figuring out a way how to universalize it while making sense without like making it feel tacked on. But some other things I want to add on: wall running, and jumping. Wall running, jumping at end to gain height, climb uninkable walls, like in Scorch Gorge. Shoot, how do you spell Scorch Gorge? Give me a quick sec to figure that out real quick. I don't know why it just took me here, but okay. Stages. God, why is this so laggy? Scorch. Scor. My mouse feels like it's working at like 5 FPS, man. Like in Scorch Gorge, those walls that you can't really go up on. Wall running, and then jumping out of your wall run would fix that. Um, Let me see here. Oh yeah. Um, in human form. Another thing I want to do is make some areas accessible. Actually, I'm bringing this up in the Splatoon section, but there's gonna be some areas of the maps that will be accessible that should be for like flanking and stuff, like Wright Museum, that really tall area, like in the high jump challenge, and expanding upon maps as well. We'll get there. Post launch, or really, I'm gonna just say 1 year, because this really doesn't have um, a live service aspect to it. I don't think I'd love to have it, but we got to be careful how we take that. I don't want to do it negatively. Don't want to have microtransactions, any negative stuff, because I like the idea of seasons and stuff, but Splatoon 3 wasn't able to meet um, the standards of players. So I'm a little like, hey, I'm not willing to sacrifice health to make that happen. This isn't real, but if it was, yeah, I probably wouldn't. I'd rather just release the thing, make it quality at launch, and then just like move on. There is more to this game than just multiplayer at the end of the day. Um, so yeah. I'd love to have seasons and add new stuff to the game or to the multiplayer. That'd be cool. But that would take a lot of work, and like I'd have to come up with ideas for that, and I'm not willing to do that right now. But again, this isn't realistic. This isn't actually happening. If it was, I probably would. But just for the idea's sake, we're not gonna. But one year there is gonna be a small update to multiplayer. Maybe it'd be a bit more substantial, um, with Titans here, and that will add well Titan mechs. So I'll just put like Titan mechs will be added for all characters. Um, yeah, I don't know like the logistics of that of like, hey, how are we gonna put a huge ass Titan in Scorch Gorge, and like just typical casual gameplay of Turf War or in um etc. But I really want to see that happen somehow. Probably have to like shrink them down a bit more. Maybe they'd be uh about the size of a giant, maybe like double that for giants, where it's like they could still move. They'd be a lot smaller. They're not like dwarfing the place like in Titanfall 2, but yeah, something that would like I don't know. I wanted to change up the game, change things up massively. A year later, I want it to be something big that would occur. So I'll have to consider more on this stuff. But that's gonna take a lot of like thought to come across. Realistically, I need to pull up a calendar here real quick. God, this mouse is so laggy. Ideally we have till September of next year. So what? I'm probably would launch September 20th is actually the perfect date. Isn't that when Superchargers came out? Yeah, it did. Yeah, September 20th is probably is when we got. Honestly, it's a month before, so July 20th being realistic, but like this is all ideas, so like who cares? Realistically, I have like as long as I need to flesh this out. Um, yeah, I talk about graphics. I feel like graphics is gonna be more onto the general game stuff. So I guess because we're here, I'll plop graphics here and like what I want to do with graphics. Uh, Cartoony, but still lev leverages great spelling. Leverages modern gen consoles while still performing well on PC. I'm gonna need to change that real quick. Cartoony, like swap force. Yeah, that's kind of the general idea of like graphics. I like to mess with loading a bit here too, but yeah, I think I should say push boundaries instead of leverage. But yeah, I think that's good. And when I say perform well on PCs, um, while still uh yeah. And again, like you can't optimize for you can't get high frame rates on like the worst hardware ever. A 1060 should be able to do 1080p 60, that kind of thing. And then scaling it up to the high end, you get the point. It should do fine in performance, or I think I should just leave this to say performing well, because or performing ideally. You get the point. I think originally I had Titans listed as only for Legend Skylanders. Now I want to flush that out with the multiplayer. In the story, it'd be for only Legend Skylanders though, but um, maybe I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see what we could do with Splatoon. Anyways, let's move into matchmaking in the format. That's gonna be some cool stuff. So, this is gonna tie into modes a little bit, but I wanna. Well, first, let's start with Glicko or Glicko 2. That's gonna be our typical matchmaking formula. Similar to Splatoon. Um, the one thing I do want to say is that um, that this will apply. This will be showed now. Across all modes. So I need to get in the modes too before we get here, but whether you're playing turf war or ranked or okay, battle now, you'll have a separate Glicker power for both, but it'll still take them into account when you match. Um, as an example, um, well now this will be showed across all modes, and um, across all modes and alongside rank. So yeah, so instead of hiding your Glico power for things like Turf War, we're gonna show it now. I really like that idea of being like, hey, even if you're in A rank, even if you're in C rank, you could still see your Glico power. Um, so yeah, I think I'm gonna change this to power. So you'll always have access to your power. Oh yeah, I guess we should talk about ranks. How about that? So, we typically have, C minus, C, I'm gonna turn on caps lock, C plus, B minus, B plus, A minus, A plus, and then you get S, and then S plus, oops, S plus 1, all the way up to S plus 50, and then you get X. Then you get the X battles. X battles is still its own playlist type of thing. I like the idea of keeping it separate, but now it unlocks at S plus 50. So, because I really want this to be a challenge. Um, it's the same Splatoon rank system. I really wanted to keep things simple while still being a bit harder to get to. Um, X rank used to be S plus 10 in Splatoon 2, and people felt like that was still a bit lenient. Um, I like the idea of having S plus 50, so I think having X battles be there it makes a bit more sense. It kind of completes the rank, and it's like, oh, you got to be good to get to X now. Like you can't just be an S plus 1 player or or an S plus 10. You gotta be good, like actually good. Let me talk about this a bit more in text. You know, so I wanted to keep ranks simple. While making higher, while making X rank harder to achieve. So, yeah, X Battles is still its own playlist and rotation, but now it unlocks once you get the S plus 50, and at that point, your progress basically comes to a halt in Anarchy, where like you can continue, but you can't really gain points. So yeah, I think that's kind of an important thing is like, one of the big issues with Anarchy Battle in Splatoon 3 is that once you get to X Battles, you can still play in Anarchy Battle Open, and because of that, it kind of splits the player base up in a game where one, you're splitting servers by region, and two, um, like matchmaking servers by region, and two, you're just making it more split up. Not only are things more split up by having NA and JP like their own and like other regions in their own distinct matchmaking pools, because like in Splatoon 2, you get matched with JP people all the time, with Japanese people in the higher ranks, where where things were like a problem. Splatoon 3, you just don't. I don't believe. Yet you don't. So X rank is just dead. On top of that, you're splitting it up between S or Anarchy Battle Series and X rank or X battles. So, um, players could just go to Anarchy Series and just play there instead of playing in X battles, which is mean X battles is gonna have more of a drought than usual because of that. Um, Although typically it's usually players go to X battles to play. Having it be like one place to play, like you can still play Anarchy Battle Series, but you can still lose points there. I think overall, um, what I want to do is one of the bigger changes is you don't get no rewards for losing. That's one of the big things I want to implement. Um, and I'll get more into this in a sec. But I've been looking back at older games, trying to pull from their formats, specifically Halo 3. I never played Halo 3, to be honest, but people reminisce over that era of gaming and um, how that era of things worked. I feel like on one hand we've progressed a bit more than what they used to do for rankings and um, matchmaking systems and stuff. Like things have progressed in that regard, um, in positive and negative ways, more so positive. So I don't think we should copy paste their systems, but I think they did a lot of good stuff that I want to bring here to offer a unique experience from your typical Splatoon, Call of Duty, etc. And one I really want to like innovate here. Anyways, I think one of the main things of Halo 3 was like you got no rewards for losing a match. If you lost a match, nothing happened. You wouldn't progress in rank, and that's really an important thing. Especially in ranked, um, you won't progress. Now, I think one of the interesting things is that's what I want to occur. Like, this is definitely a want. But what is the format going to be for ranked? I really like Splatoon 3's system of win 5, lose 3. It's a very quick, bite sized format, and that just works really well. But on the downside of how does that work in this new format? You could convert it having you spend Glico power. One of the big issues though with it is that you win a match and you don't really you don't like it just counts as a win. And then when you lose it counts as a loss. It doesn't whereas in Splatoon 2, you could gain and lose different points for matches and stuff. Whereas here it's a bit more like okay, you win a match, you gain this many points. And then you have medals to help to add to that. Or if you lose, you get nothing, but you get medals to offset that. I don't want that happening anymore. Like yeah, you'd still get medals, I guess, or I don't know. I don't think you'd get medals if you lose. I have no clue. I really want this to be a harsh game for like losing. Like, hey, you don't get rewards anymore. Even in turf, um, you're not getting any experience or whatever. I really want to rethink the I really want to rethink the leveling a bit to be more, cuz like I think one of the issues with leveling, or I guess how does series work? And then another question that I have is um shoot, what was it? Let me dive into this levels question a bit because I feel like levels should be a playtime estimate of like this is how much time someone's put in the game. But I feel like their vague nature is like really weird. Um you're like level 127, great, but what does that actually mean, you know? That's one of my big things is because you're not doing it like yeah. I think um I think the best way to address this is to make one win would be a +1 level. One loss equals nothing. Um, Quitting or DCing purposefully would be a -1 level. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Um, this is kind of similar to Halo 3's experience system, and that's probably the best way to do it. On one hand, with the playtime estimate, like this definitely isn't a playtime estimate. Um, but like if you base it off of hours, then like that's gonna be a bit of a problem. Well, I guess I already answered how levels work, and then I guess we'll answer series as we go. Um, One win equals +1 level. One loss equals +0 levels. Um, Quitting uh, purposeful DC. Yeah. Because this way you could be level 5,000. And stuff like that. Like you can, if you base it off of wins, probably a better metric of skill. I don't know. Yeah, like I think the thing about Halo XP is that it tied into your rank, but I think the issue with Halo 3's rank system, looking at it from an outsider perspective who hasn't played Halo 3 ranked, is that it was just purely based off wins, less so skill. Because you could win. I mean, to be fair, winning 5,000 matches is hard, but yeah, if you gain an experience point for winning, then you just win a bunch of matches, and then you'll eventually get your rank. You'll eventually just get said rank. Like, does it really matter based off of skill? There is a true skill aspect to the game. That's its matchmaking system, or it's how we have Glicko, um, and that would like boost things and stuff. So I don't know fully how it worked, um, but yeah, I also want to keep it simple. It had like a 1 to 50 rating, in terms of like leaderboard position or something. Um, Not leaderboard position, but it had like a 1 to 50 rank. It could be rank 50 and stuff. I don't know it fully, but um, yeah, I think leveling it'd be a bit more tedious. But I think it'd be cool to progress. It'd be very quick to progress leveling. I feel like because like with giving out experience by winning matches is a little interesting of a way to do it because it's like I mean on one hand you lose you do that you lose you still get points in turf war you don't in ranked I kind of don't mind that um but yeah I guess the one issue with this system is like typically in ranked you gain more rewards for winning, and when you lose you get nothing. Here it's like what do we do? I feel like that's still gonna be the case. You're still gonna have your coin currency that exists in Splatoon. That'll still be here. And in fact, Skylanders uses coins, so it carries over pretty nicely. You just basically do a model swap, uh, and maybe a name change. Or you remove the name coins and you just give it you get the point. Yeah, like that's still a thing. Um, I like that form of currency and Sheldon licenses to get weapons, etc. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like tying levels into wins and losses, more so wins. You get more when you win if you just go up a level. I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather it just be a number that goes up. I don't know. I'm just thinking. Anyways, I'm gonna move on because we got a lot to talk about. What else? Good lord. Um, I guess we get into modes, and then I'll touch back here when I need to. I guess we can discuss how Anarchy series is gonna work. Um, well, actually, I want to talk about this. I want to split things up between casual and competitive. So I think one of the things is when we hop into modes, I still want to keep things you know, turf war, insert casual modes, because Skylanders will have their own, will have battle mode as an example. That's a casual thing. I want that to be its own thing, but I want it to be both casual and competitive kind of thing. I know competitive turf war is like, what the fuck, but I want the option to be there. And then same for Anarchy Open, playing casually, playing whatever. Oh, and I do need to talk about format. I guess this is mostly like matchmaking stuff. um, what was I gonna write for format? Okay, match format. That's probably a better word for it. I was gonna write something else. Oh yeah. So I wanna um I'm not gonna say everything. Split what's it called? Regular battle and Anarchy Open to casual and competitive matchmaking. By asking how the player feels when starting a session, can configure to always be an option or to not bug them every time they log on. so that they have to go and make manually set it. So yeah, what is the difference between casual and competitive? So one of the big things is competitive is going to match you based off of skill using skill-based matchmaking, like Splatoon 3 does. It's going to focus on making a very intense, sweaty match, get you close to your skill. Casual won't do that, obviously, but that's kind of the goal is to be more like Splatoon 2. I wanted to focus a bit more on, your general rank level. I meant to put, oh yeah, letter rank. So yeah, and then I want comp to focus on weapons. Whereas this one is less so focusing on weapons. So for example, you might see double of the same weapon on a team in casual. Um, that might be a thing. Or like it overall try to balance it for teams, but I feel like right now it's not doing a great job at it, even in Splatoon 3. I want casual to be like Splatoon 2. That's like the overall gist. And this one's gonna be like Splatoon 3. So yeah, I really like how Splatoon 2 felt casually, and I think um I think Splatoon 3 is great when you want to play competitively, but that's not always. There's times you want to hop in turf and just chill, or play Anarchy Open and chill, to learn weapons. So that's why I kind of think having both is important. So yeah, that's a bit of splitting up ranks or splitting up things in those two modes. Let's talk about match format now. Now that we're here, so in the process of booting up the game, selecting a mode, how does the general lobby work? I guess that's a better way to put it. Is lobby format. The lobby is gonna be like Splatoon 3. That's where we're pulling from, but there is gonna be a lot of changes because I do want to pull from those earlier games, and it's kind of shocking how easy it is to implement this, in especially in Splatoon. Like, good lord, is it simple? So how do I explain this first? So first thing you go to queue up, I'm gonna put this in steps. Queue up in a mode, or I guess first thing, select um, casual or comp, and again that's a maybe. Optional. Well, not optional, but like maybe. Depends on setting. You do that, you select the mode. We'll get in the modes in a sec, but yeah, I might change this to playlist, and because I feel like Splatoon modes, it's less about the mode, more about the playlist. Um, so yeah, because like challenges, I like the mode, but in a different way, shaking up the modes. I think it should be playlist, but okay. Um, and now once you queue up into that mode, again, every mode has its own unique format, but I'm gonna focus on just a general game flow for just the general game. Some things might be a bit different, having league, that's going to be a thing. Might be slightly different than this, but you get the gist. So what it's going to do is going to find players and um put you on a public lobby. Um, kind of like Splatoon 2. Um, and that there is going to be voice chat. This is going to be interesting. Once 8 players are found, or max, because some might be 4 players, like with the dynamic duels challenge, it was 4 players max, are found, splits lobby into 2 teams where um, they select weapons, veto map. Um, yeah, veto map. So again, there's two. Yeah, I'm just gonna put similar. Plays other map in rotation if vetoed by half lobby players. Similar to Halo 3, with the veto thing. I was split in 2 teams where they select weapons and stuff. Uh, so yeah, in the 2 teams. Yeah, once it's done, you split into your 2 teams where you select weapon and gear, veto map, blah blah blah. Um, and then after that's done, I'm not sure if we should have a public VC open at this point, or whether it should be split into 2 teams. Um, but yeah, it really depends. But yeah, um, I think one of the things that should happen here, that I need to go a bit more in depth on is, um, actually For steps 3 and 4, you can view players' stats, like see their. Well, the level's going to be on display, by the way. Um, so yeah, you can view player stats and mute them. Like, what's it called? I'm gonna go to Google. There's a thing in the game. See, I haven't played Halo 3 that much. God, what was it called? I'm totally blanking on it, my God. Oh, my mouse. God. It was in this video. This thing. Service record. That thing. So yeah, it's kind of what I wanna mimic there a bit. Um, Replayer stats, mute them, see, in-game, or see, yeah, in-game photos. So yeah, I wanna bring that back. That's pretty cool. You know, you could be matchmaking with people, flip through and see some of the pictures they've taken, see some of their stats, etc. Um, so yeah, everyone readies up and begins, and the match begins. Public VC open, maybe team. Yeah, I think it's best to do a team VC. But here, and then from here you pretty much play the match, you know? And then after match, once match ends, VC or VC switches to to public, where results get revealed and continue screen peers. Players stay in VC until they select leave. By the way, there's two options, and that is continue, or I guess there's three options I guess we could do. Continue, I guess like if we start fresh. Start fresh, continue with players, or continue as team, and then quit. So yeah, or leave, but yeah. Or I guess continue. Continue in a new lobby, you know, new people. And then continue as a team, and then leave. Continue as a team will keep you all in a team VC. In VC and keeps playing. And then leave, you'll leave the VC. This one will kick you from the VC. And then leave, you know. Something like that. It'll be in a bit more different words. I spelled wording wrong. So yeah, I think that's the lobby format. You know, there's a pregame chat, a little bit. I still want to focus on strategizing with the team, but still having that public interaction, as players are queuing up, whatever, as you're waiting for players to join, kind of thing. You still have the option to leave like you do in Splatoon 3. Um, so yeah, that could still be done like throughout the process. There's now a vetoes to like, you know, you're getting the same, so those situations where you get Mahi Mahi Resort for like 15 times, like 5 times in a row, you can just veto it and be like, no, I want the other map. And then if half the lobby vetoes, you'll get the other map, kind of thing. In the rotation, stuff like that. Just to make the experience a lot better, focusing more on teams, focusing more on coordination, strategizing, or just chilling out and having fun. Again, you can turn off VCing; like it's not required, but I want it to be defaulted on. That'd be cool. So yeah, it's kind of the lobby format. Let's hop into modes, and then we'll hop into like what's the Splatoon stuff gonna be that's carrying over from that game. Although I guess by this point there isn't much. In terms of modes, you know, we want regular battle, and then we want Anarchy Open, Anarchy Series, challenges. We want those to be a staple. Private battles. In League, not League, League, league battles. Yeah, that's not that many things, but inside of each, it does get a bit more complicated than before. So here you have your typical turf war. Battle mode will be in regular battle. Rotations will flip between the two. You're still working with rotations. Anarchy Open will have your typical ranked playlist, your typical ranked modes. You have Clan Blitz, Splat Zones, or I'm just gonna put ranked modes with friends or with other players. With other players, it's a bit more. It can be used competitively, but with other players casually. Anarchy series, ranked modes, solo only, unless other player is in same matchmaking rank. As an example, A plus, A minus ranks. So yeah, if they're an A plus, you're an A minus, you can play together in series kind of thing. Challenges, pretty much you know what challenges are, but it's pretty much taking casual and ranked modes. I guess it'd be regular and ranked modes. So yeah, like Anarchy series is gonna be competitive. Private battles. Play with 8 people in a lobby. We'll talk about private battles as well, but yeah. Play as a duo or a team of 4 competitively. So yeah, this one here will have higher requirements to play than series or than open, and that's kind of what's going to differentiate league and series. Um, I do think having a 3-player spot in league could be interesting. I think one of the other quality of life changes that I want to add here too is that party bar. And that shows what players are playing together on their names in the lobby screen. I don't know what to call it, but that screen where it lists player names, there's a bar next to their name that connects two different players. I guess I have to draw that out now, huh? Can I insert like shapes? Well, give me a link to ink to shape. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Can I just like okay, that's progress. Need like shapes. There it is. Hello. You gonna fuck. There it is. No. And then there'd be another one. Maybe. Well, okay. Shoot. Shapes. Like this. God. Why is it a pain in the ass to like copy and paste stuff? Aha. I'm gonna expand this a bit more. I'm gonna do a team of 4 here. And then what I'll do is I'll spread this thing out to be like this big or something. And we'll have one for this player. And that'll show that this player is being solo matched and then these guys here are being matched together. Like these three are all playing together in a VC and this one's playing solo. You get the point. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. um, Again, this is pulled from Halo 3. Um, yeah, this isn't everything, obviously. I need to put down here the competitive or ranked modes. My bad, because there's a lot. Clam Blitz, Tower Control, Splat Zones. What's the other one? Splat Zones, Rainmaker. And then in terms of Skylanders, Ring Out. And then each one of these modes, by the way, for Skylanders is going to have Classic and Modern. There's a ring out, battle mode could be your rank mode, but I think it's best to leave it under regular battle. Probably should have specified here. Actually, I think classic will be left under here, and then maybe we'll have like a ring out. And then over here, Clan Woods Tower controls flat zones, Rainmaker, ring out. And then there's battle mode. And then there's like a gem mode. Let's see. Ah, so these are arenas. Arena Rumble, Sky Goals. Ah, Sky Gem Master, that's what it is. Then there's, which one? Sky Goals, I remember that one. I can't spell classic for the life of me. So yeah. Oh wait, that was just one game. Wait, what? Giants. Oh, arena battles. Wait, what? There was totally stuff in Swap Force. Oh. Wait, what wasn't Giants? In like the first two games. Hello? Was it just battle mode? Okay. Well, I guess that was all they had in Skylanders. I guess they didn't have the budget to do anything else more. But yeah. I guess we do go a bit more in depth on what is the difference between classic and classic and what's the other one? Classic and modern versions of these modes. Probably the next best thing to do. So like classic battle mode as an example is just your tradition. Classic modes are the original modes in the original games. Modern is a bit more in a 4v4 arena based aspect. I can spell classic. So yeah, things will kind of play out a bit more modernly in those newer modes, but it's pretty much the same thing as what you remember from Skylanders games. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. Um, yeah, I guess I should split these up a little bit, huh? quality of life stuff is gonna be addressed as I go through. It doesn't sound as much, but like when you add everything up, it's kind of a lot. I guess we should discuss like I guess we should start diving into each individual mode, like regular battle, um, turf war is typical turf war, battle mode is typical battle mode, ring out, I don't think I need to explain. Um, Anarchy open. Actually, I thought this could be competitive, but alright. Actually, I guess casual or competitive. But I do want there to be a skill difference between open and league, you know? But yeah. Because I guess the one thing is if you have three players, you kind of have to go to open and play casually, and I don't want that. But yeah, competitively for the highest Glico to power and rank. So I guess the one difference here is that you get a letter rank based off of your Glico power. um, to kind of like grade how you all played. And then you still get your leaderboard stuff like S2. But yeah. The issue with playing S3 though is that you have to fill it in the one player. But if there's a VC, it should be fine. Who knows? But yeah. Play as a duo, trio with one VC and or a team of four. That one extra player has to VC, like no matter what. Um, well, if the team's VCing, they have to. Actually, nah, I think VC should be mandatory. Yeah, they have to VC, and it's kind of assumed that like that four team that playing as a team, you're gonna VC, you know. Um, so yeah, like maybe it's on Discord or something, but yeah, I don't think I had to go too deep in the modes actually. I guess the one thing I'll say about Battle Mode Classic or Battle Mode it's kind of like I don't like to say a battle royale, but it's pretty much last person, last man standing. Last man standing, maybe with lives. With 1 to 3 with one, yeah, 1 to 3 lives. It depends because there's 8 people, you know. Or I guess the last person standing wins, but you're still on teams, I guess. So So yeah, I guess it's like a good TLDR of how that works. You're in two teams. The team with the last person standing wins. But once you are are done, you're kind of just done. Like once you lost all your lives and you're dead, you can kind of just either wait to continue. I guess that's a hard thing to do then. Cause in Skylanders it was very 1v1 centered, so maybe we don't bring battle mode back. I gotta figure that out of how that's gonna roll. Um, so yeah, Echo, turn on playroom lights. Yeah, I gotta like figure that out how it's gonna work with the matchmaking systems because I don't like the idea of you being done your match and then just like moving on without the players. Like that I don't really enjoy. Um, so maybe battle mode stays a thing. It's also like with turf war. How do you do that with Skylanders? I just realized that. It took me this long to realize that, man. But yeah, I guess Skylanders would act more of a killing machine. They're more focused on killing Inklings and Octolings in turf war. Um, that's what they do. They don't really benefit the match. Their goal is just stopping the enemy team, but that does sacrifice paint power. Maybe they're more better at killing. Maybe they kill Inklings, Octolings in like 1 to 2 hits instead of four typically. They kill quicker than most Inklings, Octolings, but at the cost of they can't paint, they can't do anything. Um, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that goes, cause like literally regular battle, yeah, you're kind of stuck unless you give a way for Skylanders to paint. And in like Splatoon terms, maybe as they walk, they put ink down in their color. I still feel like Skylanders are still bound to the paint of an Inkling or an Octoling, so it's not completely broken. But yeah, I think I should stick that up here if there's in a situation up here. Yeah. Ally ink color. So yeah. I guess another thing I should add on, let's go hop into the Splatoon stuff. So for Splatoon characters, custom kits. Custom kits are here. There is going to be some things that are private battles only. That will have its own section because it's very like lengthy. Custom kits only. Overhauled, or I wouldn't say overhauled, but yeah. Tweaked balance from S3. Um, from late game, from end game S3. Because again, this isn't coming out until September of next year, right? When Splatoon is once S3 is done. So tweaked balance from endgame S3. Um, based off player feedback. As an example, Ultra Stamp now blocks in the front. Making the changes we all want to see. Custom kits are here. Weapons will have multiple skins to reflect other variants. What's only in private battles? Because this is gonna get pretty extensive. Um, I think the best way to say this is all Splatoon 1, 2, and 3 specials. Whereas here it's only Splatoon 3 specials. Balance customization. And this will allow you to select for a main sub or special weapon the specific balance patch from the original Splatoon 1 to Endgame S3. So maybe you want your burst bombs to function like Splatoon 1, or maybe you're playing Luna or a blaster weapon. You can literally select the launch version of that blaster of the main weapon so that you have um, that giant radius that always kills. Like there's no indirect, it's just full damage, like direct damage, even in the indirect radius from version 1 of Splatoon 1, um, as well as having maybe burst bombs from whatever version you please from S1, 2, or 3, then having Inkzuka from insert version of Splatoon 1 that was really crazy, or like Bubbler or Kraken or whatever that was from early version that was pretty broken. You get the gist. Um, yeah, and then custom points for special that will also be locked behind by this. So yeah, a lot of the fun stuff will be locked behind private battles and recon stuff. I think overall though, I want to provide a lot more flexibility in things. Uh, in private battles and stuff, but I need some more time to like sit down and think what more do I want in the private battle experience in Splatoon 2 and stuff. I think one thing is upping the amount of people, but for spectating, allowing it to be more of a infinite number than just two. And like having codes for it and stuff. But yeah. I guess under quality of life changes having like PB codes, um infinite spectators. Oh yeah, Rocket League like D-pad options. That's something to do. They'll be customizable. It's more of a double tap than a single press. I mean, you can single press too. And using all four directions. Um, so yeah, stuff like that. I have to really rethink, quality of life stuff. This is gonna see, um, this definitely will be updated as time goes on, as I really get to sit down and think and be like, okay, what are we changing in this thing? Um, yeah. Um, yeah. That's why my voice we had to cough. But yeah, I'm really sitting down thinking about this. Oh, and a couple more things I need to say on the Splatoon side of things. Splatoon stuff. Maps are gonna be renovated. uh, okay, let me talk about what I just typed like a buttload of. So maps will be renovated to have more flank routes, um, and will function similarly like the high jump challenge for specific places. So like on the right side of museum, where you spawn, how you go up really high, and in the high jump challenge you could squid surge up to there. One of the things is that on that block where you squid surge up there from, what we'll do in normal game is that we'd adjust the gravity. So when you specifically squid surge off that block, your gravity will be very different and you can use that to get up on that platform. So you can always flank that way through that method. Jump height will still be the same. It's just specifically squid surging, stuff like that. Very specific stuff. Can that be used to break the game? Yes, but yeah. I think the utility is nice. Generally, we try not to go that route, and we try to let wall running slash jumping make the purpose, etc. But yeah. Another thing is like all maps from Splatoon 1 to 3 will be playable. Some maps will be only in casual play, like Salt Spray Rig, that'll only be in casual modes like Turf War, casual playlist. Anytime you select that casual mode, that might have its own separate playlist or like its own separate rotation. I think another thing I should say in rotations, or I guess map. I'm getting really tired. Well, I guess we shouldn't say they're going to be different, but um, map rotation will be different for casual and competitive play. Mode will stay same, but some maps might be different. Might be different. But some maps might be different. Or both maps might be different, yeah. It's a very flip of the coin on rotations. Sometimes you might see Salt Spray in the casual rotation, and in the competitive it gets replaced. Usually, though, we just try to make a rotation, and then if the map is like a casual map, then it replaces it, kind of thing. Rotations get made, and if map is casual, then it gets replaced. So yeah, I think that's like in the code. We'd have to be like, okay, these maps are good for competitive or viable for competitive play, and these maps are viable for, or these maps are casual maps, kind of thing, like Moray Towers, etc. Um, did I say all maps? I think I need to change this. Most maps from our flank grants the function like high jump challenge, blah 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 blah. Yeah, most maps to be comp viable where more flank ranks and the function like high jump challenge, blah blah blah. Yeah. So all maps will be from Splatoon 1 to 3. Some will be casual play. Map rotations I talked about. um yeah. I think that's like a good gist of everything. Because from here we get into Skylander stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, there's going to be legends, and they will function pretty similarly to story. I guess another thing to say is like, okay, so we have main abilities, like, hey, how's that going to function? What abilities will be returning? Um, like, what abilities will be returning from Splatoon, etc. I guess the good thing is, like, most Splatoon 3 abilities will return. And then I think what we'll do is in private battles right here, we'll say MPU or I guess all abilities not in typical play from S1 to S1 and oops and 2 will be playable in tweakable in PBs. Another thing here is all S3 abilities are returned. This way, and then in terms of this, all S3 specials. Sorry, I'm not feeling good. Like I'm getting a bit of a headache. So one thing is in all Splatoon 3 abilities will return. Some may function differently or be tweaked. Um, or balance will be balance will be tweaked. And then all S3 subs and specials will return. We might add or remove some with player with player feedback. The balance might be different than Splatoon 3 as well. You know, things might be different. Um, than what they are like in Splatoon 3. It may not be carbon copied, but we try to work with player feedback. So yeah, let me turn on my AC because I am really hot, and maybe that's why I'm not feeling right. I might need to stop and get a drink of water real quick. Hang on. All right. Sorry that was loud. Um, whew. I think that covers a lot. Let me do something real quick. I just need to double check. I need to like pull up not a real trailer, but like I just so I like to think of trailers for this stuff. Sure this is the right. Yep. Need to make sure I'm on the right audio source, whatever. I'm gonna pull up I'm gonna mute my mic in a sec, but I'm gonna pull up a song to listen to, so I'm gonna mute my mic to listen to that. Just to make sure I got everything like settled that I think's in here. I'll uh I'll be right back. Well, I can be unmuted for a sec as I go and find the music. So I have the FLAC versions. Or is it FLAC? I don't know. Yeah, just gonna just leave it at that. Where is the... Right, it's in, there it is. Cool, cool. I'll be right back. Oh, that's right. You can see my screen anyways. I forgot about that. Anyways, I just realized a couple things. First thing first, when I said specials are in all S3, yeah, here. I'm gonna put this under comp. Uh, comp only, I guess, or so there's a thing here that I said somewhere. Where is it? Here. This setting. Under comp matches, S3 subs or S3 comp select or yeah, S3 subs specials. Here, all subs and specials from S1 to 3 playable. S3 select. You could tell I'm really, my brain's feeling it. Select subspecials playable based off player feedback. Another thing about casual matches, Glyco 2 power and rank can't change. So yeah, I think it's really important that we keep the balance stuff only in private battles, being like, so that way you don't just play as a blaster with a huge, um, we try to tweak the game to still feel fair under casual play, but we still introduce the broken attributes. um, Playable but tweaked, I guess is a good way to say. We don't want you to be able to change your power and rank, because that's kind of, not good. If you're able to change your rank, change your power, whatever, if that to be affected. Um, but yeah. I guess the one thing is, um, like a specific glyco power for, whew, I might need to eat. A specific glyco power for, something I didn't think about. When you're playing in regular battle here, usually you have your own glyco power. That's what but it's kind of hidden, but it's showing now. Like that might still exist. I don't know. I think I removed that piece. Where is it? the one thing that I do want to add on here is under modes, under regular battle. I guess we'll say um, each mode has. I'm gonna undo that in a sec. Their own Glyco 2 power that will be shown. That will be shown. Oops. Has their own Glyco power for matchmaking if needed. That will always be shown. So the one thing is, for example, like I think the one question is, does regular battle casual, does that have its own like yeah, I don't think casual will affect Glyco power then. Where is it? Oh yeah, and for like ranked, if it's like casual, yeah, we don't want Glyco power being changed. Where is it? So yeah, that's really the differences. There's more as you go. What the heck happened here? VC is optional, defaulted is on, but assumed to be on in scenario. There we go. Whew. Yeah. Let me pull up the modes here real quick and just double check things. And I guess for series, I guess I could stick under here for series. Oh, wait, not here. Anarchy series. Win 5, lose 3, 3, 3. Rank ups. Medals only given if one I'm gonna switch mics. I haven't had to. Oh god, that's loud. I haven't had to do this in a while. All right, that's weird. I think that's a lot better. Sorry for the coughing. Um, sorry, just wearing headphones is overstimulating me, and I'm getting headaches from it. So, um, yeah, you win five, lose three. It's still, win three, lose three during rank ups. Medal is only given to you if you win the match. How many points each medal adds to rank is based off of performance. And how many points added? How many points added and lost to rank is based off performance now. Less so of getting medals. So it's not fixed. Medals. Which I can't spell, of course. Yeah, just kind of like Splatoon 2's system, but with medals. MEDALS. So yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how things I think go for like the most of it all. Another thing I should probably say is like Skylanders are gonna be here and they all have their same thing, but we need to give them the abilities and clothes and stuff. So I think having the ability system be per character is interesting. That way you're like, hey, for this character I want these specific abilities. Um, with Splatoon it's more gun based, but here it's more character based. So I think leaving it per character is a good thing. It'd be cool to have it be gear based where you play different builds for different characters. That'd be cool. But but I don't know. Uh, Having to put every Skylander in a piece of clothing doesn't really work. So I think just leaving it character based is probably the best thing to do. If you try to make multiple builds per character, like it could work, but eh. And again, you can't have multiple Skylanders too, so you can't just have two of the same character and stuff. And also, upgrades shouldn't really do anything to the multiplayer. Or I guess campaigns upgrades don't all translate to multiplayer, only core stuff. Only core stuff. Only only core stuff slash abilities. So like unlocking your third attack that will translate, but upgrades that increase damage and stuff that won't really be applied. So yeah. um, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Whew. I do think having updating with new maps, both for Skylanders and Splatoon, would be on the the future. It would be something looking at. Like I don't think I would realistically do that because this is already a massive undertaking. Like looking at this thing, it's like holy shit. Um, we're launching in a very quality state, pretty high bars. Um, But yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna get something to eat or ask mom for something to eat. Alright. Ugh. A couple things I realized, the music. I just put Karna Pain. Um yeah, Splatoon 1 through 3 music. I guess that goes into Splatoon stuff though. Um Also catalog returns.
which is weird because it has experience, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, catalog returns. Oh wow, I already ate both of mine. Okay. Um, yeah. I guess we have to do new content then. Um, but yeah. And this way we're focusing on new stuff. Um, so yeah, it's kind of the ideal thing. Maybe two. There we go. Because I think two is a bit more reasonable. Three's a lot, and it'd be nice, but you know, for delivering this high quality, I think two is, especially all new stuff. It's, I don't know. I'd like to see three, but yeah. Hello. Man, I love when I'm about to talk, and I just start coughing like crazy. But yeah, I think that's like most of what I'm thinking of the experience. In terms of multiplayer, it needs a lot of work. Um, and like the only thing being added after 1 year is ooh Titans. Like wow, that's like nothing. It's like a cool new mechanic. That's really about it. It's a cool new mechanic. It has its own attacks and stuff. Um, but yeah, be added for all. Will be added for Legend, Skylanders, and Wings. Actually, I think we should just leave it to Legend Skylanders. I think the thing though is like this is obviously a big maybe. And you know, this is definitely a too good to be true. I'd love for this to happen. I don't think it will. So yeah. And then having like Splatfest return would be cool, but in a new name. I don't know what it'd be called, but because like I guess Skyfest, but that sounds a bit too similar. Um, that's something I have to think of between now and September of next year. So yeah, Sky, probably like Skyland, probably just Skyland Showdown. But that sounds a lot more boringer than a Splatfest. But I'm thinking something with Rumble. I don't know. Skyland's a Rumble. That doesn't sound good. It's time for another Skylanders showdown. I don't know. That might actually be it. Yeah. Let's go down here. And then we need a new name for shifty stations. I guess like Skylands, or I guess new islands. You know. I want to prioritize two themes Splatfest because they were better and they're easier to come up with. But I'm not the person coming up with ideas for Splatfest, so I'm not doing that. But yeah, but I feel like we need some sort of identity, and I feel like Splatfest offer that, and like having it being said at night and stuff would be really 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 nice, and with like a festival theme. So yeah, there is no salmon run alternative. That's not happening. Yeah. I think overall this is the game. I'm gonna put ideally. So yeah, I think if I could stop coughing, I think this is it. Um, I think from here I could add some small quality of life changes as we go. It's been 2 hours, man. Let me double check the doc, the OG doc. Oh, I didn't even talk about spawning. Oops. What is it? Spawn unusual spawners. Um, When spawning, a S2 spawn pad will be present that players can lock on to. Lock on to cancel and momentum so they don't fly past it or spawn past it. So pretty much spawning, Skylanders spawn from Portal of Powers, Inklings spawn in their usual S3 spawners. When spawning, there'll be an S2 spawn pad that'll be present that players can log onto, with their jump. That way that'll cancel the momentum, so when you don't spawn, you just fly right past it. It'll be used for its invincible barrier, for spawn camps. And then on the respawning team on the respawn screen, you can press a button to spawn from the pad or do nothing to spawn in the air. Both will spawn at the same time, so there's no penalty for picking one way or the other kind of thing. So yeah. So yeah, that's the multiplayer for this. Very like I feel like we're pulling so much from Splatoon that I feel like this can't function on other platforms. So yeah. I'm gonna put up here est. That's a thing, right? Yeah. Ah. So yeah, that's kind of the plans. It's kind of how things go. Um, yeah, I feel like this would need a whole direct. Or shoot, we shouldn't call it direct. So yeah, um, I think this one with the story, I think we'd have a showcase to be in like August. Wait, when is this? September? Yeah, probably around August 20th. Ah, that's not how you spell showcase. I'll figure out dates and stuff. Who cares? It's imaginary, you know. Um, but yeah, that's the general gist of the multiplayer. I'm gonna call it here. You know, this might get updated as time goes on. But yeah, fun stream. Didn't think I'd be spending 3 hours doing this stuff. So yeah, bye.